versus Exodia.
And it does sound like Jeffrey has won the die roll.
Oh, are we going to see it go all the way through? Now, Tearlaments, not known to play disruptions from the hand, so this may just let him go all the way.
So the Tearlament strategy does have some points of interaction here. There's Herald of the Orange Light, which is sometimes played in the strategy because of the fairy count. In addition to that, you could also potentially see a one of halfness end up putting a card like Shaddoll Winda on the field with your mills are blessed.
Okay, so we're going to start off with Connector into the Aqua Dolphin. Aqua Dolphin is going to get a quick little peek at Justin's hand.
That for cost?
And this will not only give us insight into whether or not Justin has any interaction, it's also going to tell Jeffrey if the coast is clear.
We're going to send the Fire Flint Lady as the cost. And, well, the coast is not completely clear. There is a Kelbeck. Kelbeck can summon out and just put a card back, but will it matter?
I'll select that.
Although we know what Jeffrey is trying to accomplish, which is to assemble all 5 pieces of the Forbidden One on the opening turn, exactly the pathway to get there is not something that we're sure of. So it'll be interesting to see if Kelbeck can actually work as an interruption.
So we're going to take the 2 warrior monsters, and we're going to perform a Link Summon into Assault.
Search, first effect.
The 2 Tails of the Noble Knights.
So typically you search a card, generally speaking, that's just going to be discarded somewhere along the lines of your combo. That's what a lot of the decks that are using Assault do with the first effect. And then, of course, now the second effect is going to put a monster on the field that will likely reveal exactly where Jeffrey's going to be going with this opening turn.
So he did manage to add an Ignite, a Pendulum monster.
Yeah, this deck is going to incorporate, as we're starting to see it, a variety of fire warrior monsters. There's Ignites in here. There's, in addition to that, a variety of other warrior monsters. It seems as though Jeffrey's strategy is in some way, shape, or form based on the idea of putting 2 warriors on the field as fast as possible, as reliable as possible, and getting Assault.
Oh, we are going to see the Kelbeck activated because a card was sent from the deck to the graveyard. That's going to summon a Kelbeck and return the Assault back into the extra deck. That could be a disruption, but I don't know if that's going to be enough.
I genuinely am sitting along for the ride with you, watching Jeffrey pilot his strategy. Because he knew that card was in Justin's hand, I have to assume he knows the path from this point with his combo deck.
Back to my hand.
Yeah, and he's going to add back the Durandal. Durandal can activate and just add another Fire Warrior and just maybe keep going.
I have to imagine, based on his, I mean, I see an Instant Fusion in his hand. His deck actually has a very iconic and legendary Fire Warrior monster that he can summon out of the extra deck, and a variety of others that potentially with a card like
And it's something that you'd never see play.
It's actually a card that in the near future is going to, I believe, get some revisions and some releases.
In some way, yes. I think Jeff is right now mapping out his turn.
Now, each play when you're piloting a combo deck like Jeffrey is, that is so invested into one path, every individual play can really matter. And sometimes when there's that interaction, in this case, putting back the Assault to the extra deck, when you're playing and practicing a strategy like this, you need to be wary of, okay, X has happened, I now need to pivot my strategy. I can still get to the end result, but it's a different line of decisions. The tree of decision-making has to be altered a little bit.
But right now, it should be more or less green light for Jeffrey. You've seen the hand. The main disruption, Kelbeck, has already been activated. So I guess Justin is also along for the ride now.
So here he's searching out Ignis Phoenix, the Draco Slayer. So this is a card that was popular in the Draco Slayer strategies that came out last year. This card is actually a singleton that he's going to be using with the other Ignite monsters that are incorporated in his deck list.
Now he's also now going to play the Instant Fusion.
Yeah, so I commented on noticing that he had a copy of Instant Fusion in his hand earlier. Now here is the Flame Swordsman. Talk about coming with an iconic deck strategy.
Absolutely. Now he's going to instant contact. He's just making everything instantly.
He has brought both Exodia the Forbidden One, Flame Swordsman, and now this is another blast from the past. It looks like he's brought out Elemental Hero Flare Neos and going into a second copy of Assault.
I think every single monster that's a fusion for him is a warrior.
Oh, that is definitely going to be the case. He has another pretty iconic one in there, too. Dark Flare Knight, a card that was popular back if you want to go play the Ultimate Time Wizard side events.
And
He's going to use the Pendulum scale effect of the Ignite, destroying both.
And now he's going to be able to search his deck for a Fire Warrior. And then when the Ignis is destroyed, including in the Pendulum Zone, you can special summon one Draco Slayer monster from your deck. Or an Ignite monster. You know, typically this card has been seen in Draco Slayer strategies, but actually has the branch over to the Ignite strategy as well. You know, Jeffrey's really showcasing a variety of cards that we don't see all that often.
But if he gets all the way there with just simply these 2 cards, it just means a 2 fire or just 2 warrior monster would maybe lead into Exodia.
Yeah, we saw that his opening play began with the Neospace Connector, which is probably his ideal opening play because getting access to the Aqua Dolphin allows him to check to see if the coast is clear.
Okay.
Rock's dad back.
So now we have the
Symphonic Warrior rocks.
This isn't a team.
It's created a different way.
Oh, this is?
It does. I believe it does count as a tuner because it was special summoned.
The Warrior Rocks has an alternate summon condition that's unique to its own effect. I don't believe it has to worry about the Warrior effect or the tuner.
With Renaud
And Gallant. Right?
and Gallant, yes.
But this isn't a tuner.
Renaud might not be a tuner in this case.
This becomes a tuner.
From
Oh, if it's summoned from the
Okay.
Ignister, or the Ignis. It becomes
Oh yes, Ignis. The Ignis Draco Slayer does make it a tuner,
We're all good.
rather.
Or continuing. No, Jeff knows what he's doing.
This is what happens when you get old, Justin.
Yeah.
So effect to add back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Effect
And Templar back.
to add back the Templar.
Yeah, when Warrior Rocks is special summoned, you can
Beyond the
add 1 phase
pendulum?
of Pendulum Monster from your extra deck back to your
I'm gonna Pay
hand.
1,200 to search.
And we're going to go with Beyond the Pendulum. We're going to be able to add a Pendulum card. Now, if you don't perform a Pendulum summon, everything is more or less negated.
Something tells me Jeffrey knows exactly how he was going to be able to perform a Pendulum summon this turn to circumvent that.
Scale.
He's got the scales. Both scales.
Yep, looks like a pair of Ignite.
And now he's unlocked his true potential.
Harmonizing.
Harmonizing effect. Summon out another magician from the deck. Pendulum 1. We're going to see Purple Poison.
It's purple poison.
That's a lot of monsters.
Yeah, Jeffrey knows exactly what he's going to do now. It seems like he's hit the point of the combo that's familiar, the point of the combo that he's probably gone through and practiced
Search.
countless times before this event. That one interaction, you know, required him to recalibrate a little bit, and I think we'll soon find out. Here we are. The first Exodia piece has made it into Jeffrey's hand, and look
The
at
first
Justin's
Exodia.
face.
Maybe Justin thought that, hey, this is maybe in for a noble Ignite,
Attempt
but
to destroy,
clearly
protect
no
with
longer the
Time
case.
Star.
What?
Look at Justin. I think he's starting to realize that he is about to experience Exodia the Forbidden One on the very first turn.
Dumping Blue Dragon Summoner.
He's just sent the Blue Dragon Summoner into the graveyard.
We're using this prop protect something. This guy. I see. Okay.
Okay.
So it seems like if there is a repetitive way for him to summon Time Star Magician, that may be the way in which he assembles all 5 pieces to Exodia.
Well, we're going to see a Link summon now.
Selene is going to gain counters.
Selene. We do have spellcasters in the graveyard. That's going to gain some counters. There's 3 counters on the Selene.
Use this.
I believe he can summon back the
Also,
Three
Blue
dice.
Blue Dragon Summoner.
Yes. Thank you.
There has to be a reason why he threw that into the graveyard.
5.
Yeah, it should be 5. The pendulum zones do count when Selene is counting the spells both on the field and in the graveyard.
That's a lot of spell counters.
You know, typically 3 is the point in which you care about, obviously, to be able to special summon, but
It's fine.
yeah, we're good.
Oh boy. Now where are we going to take this play now? There's stuff in the graveyard that can be special summoned back.
I'm removing 3 counters.
3 counters have been removed from Selene, and we are summoning back the Blue Dragon Summoner.
this might be the other piece to the puzzle in terms of assembling all 5 pieces.
We're going to Link summon
Search.
further. Cross Sheep. Is there a fusion that we can go into? We got into the leg.
So now we know there are 2 pieces, and
Contact fuse.
He's contact fusing. That must be the fusion Draco Slayer.
yes, Dino
Dino
Mister, the mighty Draco Slayer.
I was going to summon back the...
From the graveyard, it's now going to be able to
Ping.
summon back.
Gains counters, chain link 1.
I
chain
think
link
that's
2
why
to
there's
search.
3 Selenes in here.
Yes, he's going to use Selene 3 times to assemble the 3 pieces to Exodia with the Blue Dragon.
That's an arm. 2 more pieces to go.
I think we have found the way that he's doing this. So it's not an infinite loop. You know, sometimes these type of combo decks find a way of looping a certain card an infinite quantity of times until their alternate win condition has been found. He only needs to get 4, plus, of course, the head.
Please, Justin, let us see Exodia be put into the hand.
Quite timely, talking about alternate win conditions in that How to Play video from the beginning of the day. Little did you know, by round 4 of the YCS, you'd be seeing just that.
And don't forget, Jeffrey is 3-0 with this strategy.
Goes to show you that when you enter a YCS, there are many different ways in which you can find victory. Of course, reducing your opponent's life points to 0, or as Jeffrey may potentially ultimately do here, using Exodia the Forbidden One.
We're going to Celine into Celine, and we're getting another search with the Blue Dragon Summoner. I think he just needs one more piece, and one more piece. I'm as excited as you are right now.
Truly, in the over 20 years that I have played this game, the amount of times that I've actually seen Exodia assembled is few and far between, and I certainly don't remember the last time I've seen it. So this is one of the most exciting things that I've ever seen on
That's the final piece.
And there it is.
Exodia, please.
Is he going to assemble it? Oh, yes, he is.
Assembling. Oh, Exodia, obliterate.
Wow.
I believe Justin is going to choose to go first. I don't think passing that opportunity is a wise choice. So he's going to start off by going first, starting off with...
Looks like a copy of Foolish Burial Goods.
Which card would he send to the graveyard? Potentially Trivikarma.
Trivikarma is typically the card that I would send because getting access to the field spell allows you to set up an additional layer of interruption, which if I'm playing against Exodia and I'm unsure what exactly is going to happen in game 2, maybe Jeffrey has a totally different strategy. I want as many layers of interaction as possible.
That adds the Parlo Reno into the hand. We're going to activate Parlo Reno right away. Field spell. That's going to allow him to add a Tearlaments card into the hand.
I did see a copy of Dark Ruinamore in Jeffrey's hand, so it will be interesting to see how that lines up against Justin's strategy. All right, the beauty of Tearlaments is that historically it's been able to layer its interactions, with graveyard disruptions, with cards like the Shuffler effects, such as Mudora, to being able to use the Primeval Planet, to potentially even having in-hand effects. So a simple card like Dark Ruinamore may only take out one of those layers, and if Jeffrey needs to get through several layers, it might be difficult.
Yeah. And starting off with the special summon of Sharon, sending the Tearlaments Kashtira into the graveyard. We're going to send to the graveyard. Oh, DD Crow, not the best send, but we do hit 2 cards. We have Rhino Heart, and I believe that is Soliak.
DD Crow is a card I was partially commenting on during the side decking phase. Whether you're playing the Bestial package or DD Crow or a combination of both, obviously in Jeffrey's shoes, you don't want your opponent to have DD Crow. DD Crow on any of the Exodia pieces obviously would be game over, and then in addition to that, on the Blue Dragon Summoner.
Yes.
Killing 2 is going to be...
Well, the Bestial package would not work against
It would not, exactly.
Blue Dragon Summoner, because that one is Wind.
Wind Monster, yeah.
Wind
I actually had
monster.
to go check that myself. It's one of those things that, the Bestials, by and large, against the decks that you'd want to side them in, are better, but having additional cards like DD Crow that have a little bit of a higher range, although you don't actually get to put a monster on the field, in this particular case, Justin is probably happy that he's got a couple copies of DD Crow at his disposal.
So we did send 8 cards to the grave from the Scream and the Sharon and the Tearlaments Kashtira. That led to a lot of cards just loaded into the graveyard, adding into hand. I believe that's a Halfness.
Notably, it doesn't appear as though any of them were Kelbeck, Mudora, or any of those.
Yeah, that's pretty safe for Jeff.
That's important because those cards in both directions are forms of interruption, either by making it so that there's a shuffle effect, but that mill 5, I still am not convinced that Jeffrey has a way of winning if an Exodia piece hits the graveyard.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tight. But there's also potentially that you could, like you said earlier, layering the disruption. There could be Tearlaments Crime that could be in the back as well. There could also be Soliak just to negate the effects of certain monsters like Celine, so that you can't just revive the card straight from the graveyard. We're going to get into Fusion Summon to a Mud Dragon of the Swamp.
I think I can see where this one is going. If Justin is playing a copy of Abyss Dweller is going to line up perfectly against Blue Dragon Summoner.
Oh, that is also another way to shut that entire play down.
So
looks like it does look like it. He has the 2 cards stacked on top of each other, performing an Xyz Summon.
Oh, he's choosing to go into Bahamut Shark. That's an interesting choice. I mean, yes, Totally Awesome is a awesome card, no pun intended. But I think if I sat through watching Blue Dragon Summoner hit the field as many times as I just did, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, I think maybe you can use the Toad. Oh, Toad cannot actually take the card because it doesn't destroy it, I believe.
My instinct would have been to go into Abyss Dweller there. But...
Oh, we're going to see Sprind. Adding back the water. Okay. So we got Tearlaments Kashtira added back to hand. Still hasn't used the summon effect of it yet.
He also still has a level 4 on the field, so it may be possible that he's able to get that back onto the field in some way, shape, or form, and then go into Abyss Dweller.
As you mentioned before, Jeffrey does have a Dark Ruler no more, but that's not going to matter when the Abyss Dweller hits the field.
Exactly, exactly. So he's putting the Totally Awesome back into his extra deck and conducting his fusion summon.
Well, that's 3 monsters. I'm going to take a wild guess here. That's going to be Kaleido Heart.
Kaleido Heart, absolutely.
From 1 Aqua to, I believe it's a Fiend.
Watching Justin trying to navigate this opening turn, obviously playing it's a strategy that presumably he's never seen before. You know, it's interesting to be in his shoes and think to yourself, based on what I have seen, what are the interruptions that I need to try and layer this turn? Here he's using the effect of Rhino to destroy his own Sheeran, because of course Kaleido Heart was summoned to the field by returning a tier element to the deck. And now he's going to be able to conduct another fusion summon. Looks like for potentially Predaplant.
Yep.
Stapelia, which, you know, would line up well against some of the cards that Jeffrey did play in that first game, like a Solday.
Oh boy. Definitely have to put more thought into this, because he knows that if he's unsuccessful, it's game over for this entire match. I mean, he is 1 game down already, which is unfortunate. You know, he did not get to go first on it. And now he has to commit into a board where he feels comfortable that it's strong enough to stop everything that, you know, Jeffrey has to offer.
So here's some just general information about Justin's deck list. We saw 2 Danger Monsters. Now, there are a lot of options for the tier element players this weekend. Do you incorporate the Horrors package, the King of the Swamps package, a combination thereof? Justin here, as you can see from those last 3 mills, is incorporating the Danger package, which I'd say is relatively popular, all things considered. Both Danger Nessie and Danger Mothman.
Now, I think things can go... Oh, so he's going to send into the graveyard the Unchained Soul Shayama. It's a wonderful card in the deck as well, because you can destroy one of your own cards and just more or less summon out a free level 6 monster onto the field.
And then you get to trigger the effect of Kaleido Heart.
And it is a Fiend. Remember, that's right. Kaleido Heart is a Fiend, which doesn't match up with any other typing within the Tearlaments deck, but it works out perfectly in this case.
And it's not typically the case that a Unchained card would find its way into a strategy like this when there's an entire Unchained deck itself that's devoted to the strategy that is perfectly playable. So it's interesting to see the deck building decisions. You know, I commented on whether it's the Shadal package, the Danger package, the Horus package. How about a small Unchained card in your tier element strategy as well?
You know, it works pretty well, especially that the Unchained card is also level 6, so it might lead into like a Beatrice play, giving you just a quick effect to send more monsters into the graveyard, send cards into the graveyard, and maybe fetching you the card that you're missing.
It does seem like he is going to go into an IP Little Knight.
Oh, that's SP Little Knight?
Sorry,
yes, SP.
SP.
Well, that's a lot of interactions here.
Isn't enough, though, because, you know, Jeffrey could have a card like Harpy's Feather Duster, evenly matched, and we know he has the Dark Ruler no more. If he can combine a couple of those, what we would call, you know, board breakers, Justin's field is strong, but it might not be strong enough. It'll be interesting to see if Justin did in fact draw his copy of Tier Elements Crime.
Santa Claus has come to town, and it has just tributed off the screen. 2 Santa Clauses have been taken out. Now, that's going to activate Scream.
Oh, ooh, okay. So you definitely want to arrange this so that Schemata is going to be chain link 2 to get the Beast.
No, that was not enough. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure Jeffrey has the combo.
I would imagine many of his opening hands have the combo. It's really a question of, does Justin have a counter?
Okay, so special summon junk forward, and then we summon out the connector. We know the connector gets you there.
Okay, this looks like it might be a Herald. It is.
It is Herald, taking out the name. And that takes out the Diviner in hand. Justin down to 3 cards in hand. The hand count will matter a lot right now. It depends on whether or not Justin has another follow-up. I think there's going to be more ways, perhaps.
Looks like he has a Rendal, but I don't know if junk forward is a fire monster.
It is not. It is an earth monster. Does it? Does it only need a warrior monster? Or am I... Oh, no, we are
Yeah, it is a
going
fire.
back. It's fire only. Oh.
This goes back to the extra. You can't special.
Justin feeling pretty happy about that. I don't know if he has any more disruptions.
You can tell on Jeffrey's face that
His face has soured in.
Oh, man. Gotta be a fire warrior.
Unfortunate combination, I would say. He has another connector in hand as well.
and an Ignite Pendulum Monster, so he is unable to make a play with that current hand.
Well, that depends whether or not Justin can make a play, or maybe he overcorrected his new deck at post side and does not have a starter himself. It happens from time to time.
You don't need too much.
That's true. That is true. But going into a deck that can win on the very first turn, some people might overcommit because you just have to see it. Like, you have to see it. Now.
Oh, wow. Justin's face looks, this is quite an entertaining match. Just watching these players really enjoying being here. Really enjoying this match, even though it's a match that you might not typically anticipate seeing.
Now, knowing that Jeffrey went first, if you decide to go first, you might not put as many disruptions because you're only expecting to win on that very first turn.
I don't know
you have to get disruptions.
You're not going to have any. If you're playing a strategy like this, you are not giving Dark Ruler, Evenly Mad, Feather Dust, or any of those type of cards. Santa Claus. Oh, my.
Oh, no! He's proceeding to set one monster phase and passing turn. That buys Jeffrey another turn to try again. And he has a new normal summon. He can keep on going. We're going to see if Justin's hand has it.
He needs to draw. He's so excited. Look at Justin being like, you need to draw. He was so excited, he put his glasses back on, ready to go. The problem here is that this probably means that Justin has interactions in the hand, so we'll see if this goes through.
As I just mentioned here, now another connector has been summoned onto the field. Are we going to be able to get a peek into the hand? Or is there another Divine? Oh, Ash Blossom Joy Spring preventing the peek in the hand, but there's still two warriors on the field. And will we get there? We got 15 minutes on the clock still available. That's plenty of time to execute the strategy.
And again, he's going to win in this main phase if this combo goes uninterrupted. So there are no battle phases needed.
There's the Isolde tail, two tails of the Noble Knights. He took off the seatbelt now. He's ready to go full throttle now. No holding back.
Effect add.
And the effect to add is resolving, which I then assume going to mean that the effect to special summon from the deck is going to resolve. Can you believe what we're about to see?
Yeah, I can't believe it. Right now we're seeing Exodia win. So this is adding the pendulum skill. So you can still activate the pendulum because you just can't summon out that card.
And he has another copy of an Ignite in his hand, so it's actually huge that he can put both of the pendulum zones covered.
Is Soul Effect. We're going to send an equip into the graveyard to summon out a level 1 from the deck. There's the Durandal.
Yep.
I'm going to take a wild guess that's going to be a Renault, so that you can add back the Durandal, but I could be wrong. Could be Squeak, and it could be any of these guys.
He has Ronald in hand already. Remember, he tried to. I mean, he
That's
could
true.
probably summon another copy of it. It is a Fire Warrior. It is not restricted. You can special summon the other one from your hand just for having a Fire Warrior. So although it in and of itself is a Fire Warrior, there is no restriction.
Durandal effect, targeting the Renault effect of Durandal, destroying itself, and to add a Fire Warrior into hand.
This is where we're going to get Ignis.
We're going to see this one play out now.
It's really interesting how all these differing strategies and different archetypes overlap with each other. Now, the fact that Ignis is a Fire Warrior, combining with the Durandal, it's really, really exciting to see.
It's like a jigsaw puzzle that you piece together from other jigsaw puzzles, but somehow the pieces still work, and it still completes the entire puzzle.
I feel like a lot of Pendulum strategies have historically had that type of feel to them.
Mm-hmm. And we get the Templar. I believe that's a Templar.
And now Ignis is going to allow him to special summon a Ignite from his deck.
That's Gallant. No. That is... I believe that is Gallant. We're going to perform a Synchro Summon.
All right, we saw Warrior Rocks in the first game, and now we get to see it again here. Adding back the Ignite from the extra deck zone through its effect. Now I think it's where we're going to start to see Beyond the Pendulum. Yep.
Beyond the Pendulum. Then we're going to load the scales up.
Justin's sitting back in his chair thinking, I've seen this before.
Oh, yeah. Deja vu. It's a repeat.
He's repeating some of the iconic opening episodes of the Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh,
television
yeah.
show.
This is episode 1 with Exodia.
It is. He's just repeating it over again.
Justin also sitting here for the ride now. Now, this might have been the case where you have to put in so many cards to counter the strategy. You might not have the pieces for you to start your own engine and make sure that you get going.
I can't imagine that he would side out cards in his own deck, though, that are classified as starters. You know, I would imagine that he would side out maybe a Divine Incarnate type card that obviously isn't going to line
Maybe
up.
the Nessies, Mothmans. You don't need those ones because they're not good to open.
They are pseudo starters at times, right? They can start pushing to the field, particularly a card like Mothman that can put a level 4 in the field. So I don't know if I necessarily side those.
Oh,
here it is.
Yeah, here it is.
Yep. Time Star Magician searches out Exodia, the Forbidden One.
Destroy, protect.
We're destroying the Time Star Magician.
This is an incredible interaction. Being able to dump the Blue Dragon Summoner through this interaction of protecting the Time Star Magician is genius.
And Celine's coming onto the field now.
The one of 3 Celines that we will be seeing.
Oh boy.
And this combo inherently puts a spell in the graveyard because of a Soul Day. So if there was ever that concern that you didn't actually get access to a spell and you only relied on your 2 pendulums, well, nope, this combo puts 3, so Celine is always going to be able to special summon.
Likely we're going to see a Cross Sheep being summoned right after this. Yep, take the Celine, take the Blue Dragon Summoner. And we do have the Ignis and the Draco Slayer and the Pendulum.
We have everything we need.
We have 1 leg. 3 more to go.
And now he's going to conduct the Fusion Summon by tributing both of these for the Dino Nister Power, the Mighty Draco Slayer, and that's going to trigger the Cross Sheep effect.
Blue Dragon Summoner. And Blue Dragon Summoner left the keys on the field, decided to come back and grab them again thanks to the effect of Cross Sheep.
Justin just trying to check everything, make sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed by just verifying the fusion requirements, or in this case, for the alternate summoning requirements of Dino Nister Power, the Mighty Draco Slayer.
Second Celine. Negating any of those Celines would be so high value. I think there's just exactly enough to do it. There's the arm.
Justin's face is just priceless. And you can hear the crowd.
The crowd goes wild here.
I'm just going to let them take the wheel right here.
Celine number 3.
Celine number 3 is going on board. He's going to do it. There's a ton. Oh, boy. Another leg. 1 more piece. The crowd is chanting, 1 more piece. This is a historical moment here in Indianapolis. Oh my goodness.
It has been an honor to sit in the booth and watch Jeffrey in games 1 and 3.
Appaloosa?
Oh, just for the extra bet, just in case. We're going to go into Appaloosa at the end of this.
This is clean. This is very clean. We got the other arm. And all 5 pieces have been assembled. The legs, the arms, the head. Exodia